But at least one Trojan isn't buying it. In fact, defensive tackle Jurrell Casey says Oregon's not all that, and he's getting sick of hearing about it. Quote, they have a good running back and a good quarterback. Other than that, they're really not that good. It gets kind of annoying to keep hearing about it, but let them do the talking, and we'll just go out there and show that we can stop them. Pretty big of you to just let them do the talking, especially considering they're not really talking at all. You, on the other hand, just said that the top-ranked team in the country isn't any good. At least you acknowledge that they've got a good quarterback and a good running back. Thing is, Jurrell, in that offense, having a good quarterback and a good running back is about all you need to get to 40 every Saturday. You would have thought that after quarterback Matt Barkley's tweet compared USC to Cain Velasquez and Oregon to Brock Lesnar, that the head coach would have thrown down a gag order on talking this sort of junk. Then again, who am I kidding? Their coach is Lane Kiffin. Smoke weed, talk bleep like Lane Kiffin. I'm surprised he didn't just retweet Barkley and Chase Casey's quote with a, yeah, he said it. At the risk of offending the hundreds of thousands of BMW-owning, Trojan vanity plate-having honks here in SoCal, there is no way I'm taking the Ducks or not taking the Ducks here. It won't be a blowout, but it will be a track meet, and the Ducks are going to hit the tape first. And if Minnesota put over 300 yards on the Trojan D, Oregon might just add another 1,000 to it. Ducks 45, Trojans 33. Let's go. Welcome back. Time now for the Forum. I'm joined by a senior writer for ESPN Magazine. Bruce Feldman joins me. How big is this game for USC?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, last week, or 2 weeks ago, when they went out and they beat Cal, and it was decisive and it was a dominant performance, it was a huge statement for them because at that point, USC had looked so shaky. Their defense had been awful. I think they had become, I don't want to say irrelevant, but they were so far removed from the national stage. And now all of a sudden you have College game day here. You have really this dynamic Oregon team coming in. You have the trash talk a little bit, sniping back and forth. There's an excitement here. Lane Kiffin, I think because of all the bluster that he had at Tennessee and even some of the comments, you know, this week, I think you see people maybe forget that he is a good offensive coach. Matt Barkley's playing really well, really good young players. If they, I don't know if they necessarily have to win this game, but they have to be competitive. You cannot get blown out by Oregon, and I think that gives them something to move forward, at least go through the sanctions and feel good about themselves.
I agree. I don't think they have to win. I don't think they will win. I don't think they will get blown out, but that if they do get blown out in their house, that would be a really bad deal for USC.
It's humming too, and they're coming off a bye. The Trojans, 7-point underdogs, off a bye at home. That is going to be a great football game.
What are you saying, Colin?
Oregon USC, great, but is it more exciting than Rachel McAdams and Harrison Ford teaming up in the new movie Morning Glory? McAdams plays a hotshot television producer trying to revive a struggling morning show anchored by Harrison Ford. And then there's aliens from L.A.
No, there's not. There's no aliens.
It sounds like a good matchup. Hey,
it's a romantic comedy.
Any movie without aliens, I'm for.
This is going to be a great movie. It's about the girl who wants to be the big next thing, and she's just an up-and-comer trying really hard.
Hey,
I love that story.
West Coast love. #1 in the AP poll, Oregon. This is a great football game.
This will be a blowout. This will make me cry. Tears of happiness. I don't care.
Not even close.
Good luck with that game. Let me know how it goes.
Yards, first down per game. They're also tops in turnover margin at +12. They're averaging better than 55 points a contest. That's within 1 point of the all-time record set by Army in 1944. So for more on this week's matchup against USC when the Ducks are on offense, here's ESPN's Tom Luginbill.
Cover 2, or Tampa 2 as many would call it, has many advantages. And if you're Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator at SC, you want to be able to stay in it all the time. But one of the disadvantages is you don't have enough players to defend the run within the box. Sometimes with left just 5, maybe 6. And look at Oregon here versus UCLA a week ago. This is what they do to get teams out of cover 2, which means you have 2 safeties outside the hashes. They spread you out and open up the formation.
Jurrell Casey said that Oregon has a good running back and a good quarterback. Other than that, they're really not that good. Colin, is USC overconfident?
Listen, okay, we're talking about USC, right? We know they recruit better players than Oregon. They won this conference 7 straight years.
Okay, but we're talking about this season.
Okay, this season, Oregon's great at home and good on the road. Oregon's not a great team on the road.
Are you sure?
Arizona State made them punt 11 times.
They're averaging 1:40 on their scoring drives.
Okay.
1:40.
All right, they score quickly, but USC's at home. off a bye. Quarterback Matt Barkley's been playing like an NFL quarterback.
I think the fact that they have been talking smack is going to make this Oregon team go out there and run up the score.
Do you really believe in sports today that if I tweet something, that like after the first time I get popped in the mouth, I'm still thinking about the tweet?
Absolutely.
You think people...
Because you don't have the mindset of a grudge holder. When somebody says something bad about me, I remember it for life, and when bad things happen to them, I laugh.
I think 2 minutes into this game, and Oregon's going to realize, oops, it's USC. They're bigger and stronger than we are.
We'll see about
Responded
that.
by saying he didn't have time to count his 5-star players. And Kelly shot back, quote, I don't know what his schedule is. It only took me 45 seconds to do it, unquote. Wilbon, you hate Kiffin. You picked USC to win 3 games all year, so I imagine you have Oregon rolling.
No, I don't have them rolling. I mean, they got to go into USC and do this. I mean, you know, this is clearly the biggest game of the year for both these teams. People can say, well, it's like a bowl game because USC isn't going to be in one.
It's the Rose Bowl, you know, for
this
USC.
This is the game that stands in the way of a championship for Oregon, Tony. So they both have the incentive. I just think Oregon's a better team. And, yes, I am rooting for Oregon.
I know, and you hate Lane Kiffin, and obviously everybody hates Lane Kiffin. This is his Rose Bowl. If USC wins this game, they can actually recruit even though they're on probation. This is a really big game for them, obviously a big game for Oregon. Oregon still has Oregon State after this and one other tough game. I think USC is really going to be jacked up for this game. And as much as I like Oregon,
They should be.
They give up a lot of points. They do. They score 55 and they give up a lot.
All right. So are you picking SC in this game then?
What's the spread? Can I take the spread? Can I take the number on that?
What's that taking the spread? You got to pick a winner, big boy. Cigar man. You don't want to pick.
I'm picking the Euros.
Mark, you go first. Oregon, USC, take your pick.
I'm picking Oregon. This is easy. The #1 scoring team in the nation, #1 total offense, the Oregon Ducks. The reason why their quarterback, Darren Thomas, does a spectacular job with the football, doesn't turn it over, he protects it. LaMichael James runs the football. They're a great dynamic duel. How about their offensive line, Coach? They've only given up 2 sacks this season. This is a scoring machine going against USC. You know, USC, they gave up 1,015 yards in their 2 losses to Washington and Stanford. You got to go with the Ducks in this game.
Oh, but you missed the 647 yards they gave up to Hawaii. But I am picking Southern Cal. I'll tell you, I love Matt Barkley. And the thing people forget is they are 2 seconds away from being undefeated. I think with the open date, they're going to be ready to play Oregon. I'm not sure how well Oregon plays away from home. And let's remember this, Oregon has not won there since 2000. That is 10 years ago.
They beat them by 27 last year and 613 total yards of offense on that USC defense.
Let it be known, he took Oregon, I took Southern Cal.
It is though.
For 4th down, it was 1 year ago right now that USC was pretty much smacked in the mouth by a very good Oregon team, and now they get their chance at revenge. Interesting stat on this Oregon-USC game. The last time USC was a home dog, I guess it happens once every 10 years, 51 games ago. But that's the case for this weekend as they come in against Oregon. Tell us about who's going to win and tell us why.
Well, I think Oregon wins this game, but I think USC is going to give them a fight. And the reason is, first of all, on offense, USC has got big, powerful backs that should be able to mash Oregon's front a little bit if the score can stay close and they can keep handing it off. Now, we thought that against Stanford, and Stanford couldn't do it. We'll see if USC can. But also on defense, I think it'll be very interesting because USC defensive coordinator Monty Kiffin last year was the defensive coordinator at Tennessee, and he had a great game plan against Florida.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So Florida's offense isn't identical to Oregon's, but what he did was, instead of sitting back and trying to get lined up correctly and catch Tim Tebow and all those fast backs, he attacked Tim Tebow in the backfield and disrupted what they were doing. And I think that's one thing that Oregon hasn't had happen to him yet this year. They run the operation so quickly between plays. They just run a play, line up, run the next one, run a play, line. That defenses are satisfied if they can just line up in the right alignment and get their assignments right. But then they stand at the line of scrimmage and just try to catch everything coming at them, which is to Oregon's advantage. I think USC will attack them. But what I think will happen is, because USC doesn't have a lot of depth, they'll wear down, and in the 4th quarter, Oregon will bust off some big plays, and Oregon wins it 48-32.
I am with you on this, although I hear a whole lot of people making the case for Trojans at Coliseum. I cannot make that case because this is the fastest paced college football offense I have ever seen. I thought Oklahoma's fast break offense was fast. This one is literally breathtaking because it takes the breath away from the defenders. And you're right. USC has some talent on defense. They have Monty Kiffin coaching the defense. They have next to no depth on defense. They are going to get run into the ground by this attack featuring a Darren Thomas who, to me, is far better than I could have imagined, beyond Jeremiah Masoli. He is so quick mentally, so slick with the ball, so deadly accurate throwing from the pocket or on the run. And LaMichael James is just so hard to see, let alone just get a hand on and get him on the ground because he's so balanced. I see Oregon putting up at least 38 points on Monty Kiffin's defense. Now, will Matt Barkley, but he's got a hot hand lately, 8 touchdowns to no interceptions in his last 2 games. Will he put up some? Yeah, I can see USC scoring 30 points. So I got it 38-30 Ducks, even on the road, where the offense doesn't always seem quite as quick as it does at Austin.
Yeah, here's what happens to a defense. Now, normally, here's the process. A play is run, there's the tackle, everybody gets up, everybody huddles up, the defense gets the signal, they think about what their assignment is, the offense breaks the huddle, comes to the line, the defense figures out what's happening.
Maybe substitutions are even going on.
Right, and so that they get fresh defenders in there.
Yeah.
And then they run the play.
Yeah.
With Oregon, what happens is they run the play, and then 10 to 15 seconds later, the snap happens. So the defense has to look to the sideline, get the call, get lined up, figure out what the new formation is. And the Ducks have so much versatility on offense that they can take the same personnel and pack it into a power formation or expand it out into a spread formation. To them, it's the same people, but to the defense, it's totally different. So the defense has to figure out their assignment, their alignment, and while all this is happening, the ball is snapped. And now they have to play football. And so they can keep up sometimes for the first half or so, but it's not only physically exhausting, it's mentally exhausting.
Which
it's
is
one of the
why,
reasons.
on the road, Oregon's a 7-point favorite.
Right.
ABC showdown at the Coliseum. Number 2 Oregon. And USC, Oregon 7-0 for the first time in 77 years. The Ducks lead the nation in scoring, averaging 55-plus points per game, and they get it done quick, not quack, quick. Average time of possession on touchdown drives, 1:40. 16 TD drives in under 56 seconds. By the time you finish reading this, Oregon will have scored again. Hey, we've scored. We've got Oregon coach Chip. How fast we can do this interview. Before the season began, you told me you had a special team. What makes them special?
Their attitude and their work ethic and what they do every single day in practice.
Opposing coaches say they've never seen an offense like yours before. Where did you see it?
From a lot of different places, and put some ideas together and have a great staff. And our offense just said, hey, this is the best thing we can do.
What's with the play cards that feature various ESPN personalities, myself included?
It's a way for us to play faster. One picture means a formation, the play, and the snap count. So if you just look at it real quick, our players can line up and play a little bit quicker.
How'd you decide who to use?
Based on their personalities.
I'll take that as a positive. You've been held under 50 points 3 times this season. What went wrong in those games?
Bad play calling by me.
Who's the unsung hero on this team?
Our defense by far.
Other teams faking injuries on defense to get your team to slow down. Are you faking enthusiasm right now?
No, I'm not. I'm very excited to be here.
Who's the bigger rock star on campus, you or the Duck?
Duck. Love the Duck.
Who can do more push-ups, you or the Duck?
Duck by far. He's got a lot of practice.
USC quarterback Matt Barkley tweeting the Trojans would beat the Ducks. What do you think of tweeting?
I don't understand it, but I do like Matt Barkley. I think he's a heck of a competitor, and I'd love to coach him.
Barkley also said that this is USC's bowl game. If that's true, should the Ducks be given gift bags?
Well, we're just happy to be playing in it.
The importance of Lee Corso picking your team to win on College game day.
Big fan of Coach. It's an omen. I think when he picked us, we win. So if he picks us tomorrow morning, we'd be excited.
Is this interview 5-star or 4-star?
It's a 5-star because you're in it.
There we go. How'd we do on time? 150.
Did we score?
We scored on the same average, only 10 seconds more than the average score the Ducks scored. Chip Kelly, USC, Oregon, Saturday at the Coliseum on ABC.